So you want an OLED on your Switch 2? The best way to do it is to slap on a pair of smart glasses, but the problem is that, just like with the Switch 1, smart glasses don't work when directly plugged into a Switch 2. Thankfully, there's a solution: the Viture Pro Mobile Dock. This one's an upgrade on the original dock, which works with the Switch 2, as well as every other handheld gaming system I've tried it with. The secret is in the special firmware Viture created to decode that weird USB-C port on the Switch 2. Let's look at the dock first, and then we'll get into how to use it and what glasses work with it. The dock itself looks very similar to Viture's original mobile dock, including the free USB-C ports and HDMI port on the front, foot pads on the bottom, and a power button with battery-level LEDs up top. Since both are the same size, they'll fit just fine in any of Viture's mobile mounts. Those mounts let you easily connect the dock to the Steam Deck or the original Switch, which is handy since they are giant 10,000 mAh batteries and extend your playtime. There's no mount for the Switch 2 yet, but that should be coming. The original Viture Mobile Dock will not work with the Switch 2, only the Viture Pro Mobile Dock. The Pro model has these snazzy orange LEDs up top so you can tell the difference. To get the dock working with the Switch 2, you'll need to update the firmware. It's an easy process, despite what it might sound like, but you'll need a PC or Mac to do it. Head to the link in the description, then use the short USB-C cable included in the Viture Dock's box to plug your dock into your computer. You'll use the middle port on the dock for this. Once it's plugged in, click the Connect button on the Viture Firmware Update website. When the pop-up appears, select your mobile dock, then click Connect. Back on the page, make sure the firmware that's labeled Switch 2 is selected. It should be by default. Then click the Update button. If it worked, it'll tell you that the operation was successful. If you want to use this with an original Switch again, you'll need to swap the firmware back to the one listed on the page. It's definitely annoying, but I can't imagine too many people are going to be juggling Switches with these docks, so it's probably not a problem most people will ever deal with. Now that the firmware is Switch 2 compatible, you'll turn the dock on by holding the power button for a second until the LEDs light up. Plug the dock into the bottom USB port on the Switch 2 as if it's going into a TV dock. The top port doesn't work for docking, unfortunately. Now you'll plug a pair of smart glasses into either of the two glasses ports on the dock. This dock supports two glasses at a time, which means you can play Mario Kart World with a friend without somehow trying to find a way to share a pair of specs. While Viture wants you to use their own glasses, my personal recommendation are Ray Neo Air 3S. They're super cheap compared to other smart glasses and use 3840Hz PWM dimming, which is better for your eyes than most other smart glasses and should even be good for most PWM sensitive people like me. I also like these because they support 60Hz and 120Hz. So you can enable 120Hz on the Switch 2 for games that support it, and you'll get buttery smooth performance. Viture glasses use DC dimming and work very well with the dock, as you might imagine, but I find their Pro glasses are a tad on the bright side. X-Rail Air series glasses will also work well, but X-Rail 1 and X-Rail 1 Pro don't work with the dock. You'll get an image, but that image is all yellow and pink, which tells me there's some kind of weird mismatch between the dock's USB port and X-Rail 1's USB connection point. Neither company could give me a good answer, but I would imagine that since these are two different companies making two different products, you generally shouldn't expect them to work together anyway. Either way, X-Rail's newest glasses don't work with this dock, but the company is releasing the X-Rail Neo adapter later this year that works similarly to the Viture dock and will support the Switch 2 as well as all X-Rail 1 series glasses, all without having to switch your firmware, so there's a bonus for that one when it lands. I've got links for all the ones I know work down in the description, so check those out if you want. As for what to do with the Switch 2 and the dock while you play, well, there's no real ideal solution here, and I will readily admit that this is awkward as heck without that dock mount. I'm really hoping Viture gets one of these ready as soon as possible, or at least someone in the Viture community can come up with a 3D printed part. I know Reddit's usually good for that kind of thing, so here's hoping. Still, this is the best way to get an OLED for your Switch 2 on the go, and it should be pretty ideal once we get a dock mount.